There's always a lot of noise in political coverage, and there's all this, craziness about who's a dictator and who started the Ukraine war and what the Gulf of America, I guess, is named. But there was a set of promises. There were some real goals that both Donald Trump and the Republican Party laid out for us prior to the election. And I think it's worth taking a look and seeing, how are we doing on those things. So let's start with 1 and 2. So the first two promises were sealing the border and stopping the migrant invasion. These are the exact words. And number 2, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. So let's see how we're doing. As far as sealing the border, I think this is an unqualified win. The dark orange line right here is fiscal year 2025, which we're in right now. And you can see it's been coming down steadily from October, when the fiscal year started, through January, which is the latest data available. From January 2024 to January 2025, apprehensions at the southern border went down a whopping 85%. Now, to be fair, a good chunk of that happened under President Biden, but since Donald Trump took office in 1 month, there was a 35% drop. So that's pretty remarkable. It's pretty dramatic, and all accounts seem to say it's fairly quiet at the border. Sealing the border is not just about racism, for people who might be thinking that. There are a lot of good reasons to stop illegal crossings across the southern border. There's a lot of human beings trafficked across that border. There are a lot of drugs trafficked across that border. It's also not safe. A lot of people die every year in those harsh weather conditions trying to cross the southern border. And then when they get here, they're often exploited. So I'm going to say, check. That's a success so far. This data on mass deportations is from the ICE website, which is an excellent website, by the way, really great data transparency. And what you're probably thinking of as deportations is this dark blue portion of the bar right here. That's what you are seeing on the news when you see the people being rounded up and put in the back of the van or put on the plane. And it's very early still, but you can see they're off to a fairly good start. According to ICE, there were 61,630 removals, which is that dark blue bar, since the start of the year, that's a huge number. So that looks like that's on track too. I would give that a check. So promise number 1 and 2, I'd say the Trump administration has gotten right down to business. They are making meaningful progress towards their goals. And next time we'll talk about promise number 3, which was reducing inflation and improving affordability.